So, have you ever played Tryndamere before?
Yeah, I played a couple games of him like in the past, like many years ago, but I don't play him like actively now.
Okay, alright. So, with there being sort of different goals for you compared to somebody that I'm sort of teaching Tryndamere that already has experience, there's going to be sort of different ways of going about it. Since I would be teaching you how to do a new champ that you haven't played versus something that you already kind of get the feel for. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a little bit of a different process that's tailored to you specifically.
Okay.
Because I know your experience as being a challenger Vayne top player. So there will be examples that I give for things that you might know
Okay.
relative to your experience. First off, I mean, do you just want to start the coaching like officially right now?
Oh, you're cutting out. Huh?
Let me fix that on Discord.
Okay.
Lower my input sensitivity. Yeah, that should be good. That should be good. So, um, what's so you don't really have much experience of Tryndamere at all. What
Yeah, but
is
I kind of. Oh yeah, go for it.
what is your perception on how Tryndamere fits into the game? Like, what do you think Tryndamere is?
I view Tryndamere as a champion who is more split push orientated.
Hmm?
You go through side lane and you create pressure on the side, and you force the opponents to react to you, either to respond to you, or otherwise they hit the turret. Or if they respond to you, you can now rotate over and look to take camps, or look to even take a numbers advantage fight, or take TP from whoever responded to you. That's how I see Tryndamere.
Yeah, that's a big part of how he plays in the later part of the game. Is have you ever played Bushido Blade on the PS1?
No, I have not. Sorry.
Okay, all right. So the way that I kind of frame this is that there's sort of different stances that you take. Of like when you're in lane, there's different ways of having stances to where, all right, I'm looking to pressure the opponent right now to where I feel like if I can get a little bit of chip damage, that I can eventually go for an all-in. Or my stance is I'm just trying to survive in lane, get a little bit of fury for healing, etc., etc. There's different ways of playing the game, and like late game, as an example, your two examples that you gave is there's a stance of I want to try to take turrets, or there's the stance of I want to sort of be in between two different turrets where I am um, or in between two different lanes to where I can either choose to commit to the split or get the flank off. So like you push the wave in and then you sit in between in the jungle.
Yeah.
And one thing about Tryndamere that you might know is that he is just a vacuum for farm. With how much mobility you have, you can just take jungle camps almost instantly. So that is the number one thing that you want to be kind of focusing on is just how do I accumulate as many resources as possible? Because there's so few champions in the game that can take jungle as a laner the same way that Tryndamere can.
Okay.
Because your time from, let's say you're blue side and you're pushing the bot tier 2 turret, you can spin over the wall, take the grump, and spin back over the wall in like 5-6 seconds, which no champion can really kind of get that timing of getting from in the lane to getting a jungle camp to getting back in the lane. Um,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so first off, since you have no Tryndamere experience, we're gonna go over some mechanics and
Okay.
get all of that set up just to give you a sort of idea. So I so kind of a preface of a question for you is that um, I have a very kind of more specific style of Tryndamere that I focus on. It's still lethal tempo, still all of this stuff, but I play mid and I go for a lot of like jungle invades to try to just instantly win the game by invading the enemy jungle. because that's a big strength of Tryndamere. So the question is, you're a top lane main.
Yeah.
Would you have a preference on whether or not we focus on coaching you on top or mid Tryndamere?
Let's go with your style. Let's go mid Tryndamere.
Okay.
I see some clips of you on Twitter just running around people's jungle level 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so oppressive when it happens to you. Like if you've ever played as jungle versus me, it's just the most it's one of the most frustrating feelings in the world. So I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And then I'm going to just explain a couple concepts, and then we're going to get you into a custom game, and then have you learn these concepts.
Sounds good.
You apply the concepts that have you. So let me just share screen right there. Go into a custom.
Yep.
No, it's not a custom. Training mode. So you know that the more Fury you have on Tryndamere, the more you heal, right?
Yeah. And the higher chance you crit, right?
Yep. And so one of the biggest things that I see as an issue for lower level Tryndameres and Tryndameres who don't play it as often is sitting on Fury. You only really want to have a Fury bar up, typically, when you are looking to make a trade happen. If there's a situation in lane where you're not looking for a trade, one of the strongest points of Tryndamere is his really high amount of sustain, with Doran Shield plus second winds plus your Q. That Tryndamere is a champion whose general play pattern is to be able to just out-sustain and stay on the map longer and starve the enemy of their resources, of either their health or their mana pool. So you want to, when you're in sort of trading lane situations, just keep your Q on cooldown unless you are actively looking for a trade.
Okay.
So right now I'm gonna show you what the level 1 play pattern is for doing the invade on the enemy jungle. It's a very sort of flowchart kind of system where it depends on where exactly the laner is as the wave is coming in. But your ultimate goal is to try to push in this first wave as soon as possible. And this is a way to kind of cheat the game, where you're not actually laning.
Okay.
So you don't need to worry about any of that. But yeah. So you just get the Qs, E the entire wave.
Even if they're there, you just E through.
If they're there, then you try to E on the entire wave, and then make your spin hit them, and then get an auto on them. And
okay.
It doesn't matter if you get all of the CS. I missed a couple just from... It doesn't really matter. So then you want to get a ward right here. Frag this right here.
And you try to kill one raptor here?
And that'll hit you level 2.
Oh, do you actually take their red if they start a blue?
Yep, if they start blue, I take red.
Hello?
And then if they start red, you want to look at where they are starting based on what the Lucian is.
Wait, where'd you go?
Oh, do you not see my screen? Hello? Do you hear me?
I cannot hear you. I turned on your stream.
Okay. You
there you go. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Oh, okay.
I accidentally muted myself. So, if they're starting red, then they're most likely going to be here. And that way you can just... that way the situation is, if they're starting here and then going here, I will go into a custom 1v1. I'll play the jungler and then do this so that you can get experience of... when you get into a custom, there's two situations. Like, the situation right there. This always works if they're starting blue side. And then this ward gives you a lot of vision right here. Unless they're doing blue to red, you will have enough time to do it. And hitting level 2 right here will give you enough room. And if the mid laner tries to contest you, you're a Tryndamere who is level. You have full Fury, and they're away from turret, so you can just pop Ghost and kill them. I should be taking Ghost Flash right now.
Okay.
So you can pop Ghost, and then you can just kill them if they try to rotate towards you. And so if you know that they're starting blue, you're always going to want to do the little raptor trick, hit level 2, and then take the red. If you feel like they started red, just ward here, and then you're going to walk up, and you hit level 2 off of one of these small camps. Any one of them that dies, you hit level 2. So you want to save.
So you wouldn't kill one raptor? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You wouldn't kill one raptor if you know they started red and it's going
if they started blue. If they started blue, you want to kill one raptor.
Okay.
If you know that they started red, then they're probably going to be right here. 99% of the time, and then you can just hit level 2 right here.
Okay.
Because this takes a little bit of time, and if you're right here, you can kill them while they are taking the jungle camp. So they'll be having even more damage coming onto them than just you. And even if you don't get the kill right here, you are denying them about 2 to 3 camps of tempo, and you're probably burning a summoner spell. So that pretty much just automatically gets you into a really easy situation. One thing with your... Let me level up a couple times. One thing with your... slow is that when you're going for a kill, you don't want to try to just spam slow in a very panicked way. You want to make sure that you can wait for a time where they're going to hit it. Because, you know, like when you have a Morgana, right? The scariest thing about a Morgana player is when she has her Q up. If she throws out her Q, then you're not afraid of Morgana at all anymore. So if you have your slow up, and they know that if you hit their slow, they're going to die or take a big trade, they're going to constantly be like walking back and forth and just becoming really slow for you. So that makes it a lot easier to predict, to actually get your slow procs, and then just a lot of very basic, just kind of orb walking is the name of the game for Tryndamere.
Yep.
And maintaining your lethal tempo stacks. If you're in a trade, like, say you get a trade where you get 4 auto attacks off, you want to try to fish for getting an auto that keeps it up, so that you still maintain your stacks, and then by the time your next spin is up, you'll have 5 stacks, and then you can go for the play. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I assume that's a similar thing with Vayne if you ever do take lethal tempo top.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
You try to keep fishing for lethal stacks and keeping a prop, and then once your abilities are up, then you go full all in, yeah.
Yes. So another concept is you just always want to save Q until after your ult. It can be really easy to be in a situation to where you press Q and then you ult.
Okay.
And then your Q is not up for after your ult.
Okay.
And then so right now I'm sitting at 0 health right now. So typically you always want to use your ult first, so that as soon as your ult is down, you have your Q set up. And one thing you can do in team fights that's really valuable is proc your lethal tempo on the front line that you can freely auto attack, and then use that to get into the back line with fully proc lethal tempo, and then it's just free reign. And we're gonna get you into a custom in a second.
Okay.
The build that I'm gonna have you go is a build that theory crafted with some pro coaches, which is Sheen, Eclipse, and let's just stay with Sheen Eclipse right now. This is
Sheen Eclipse, okay.
Yeah.
I figure Kraken in Navori or Gale Force Navori is the standard way, but okay.
Gale Force is really high cooldown, so like it's almost never up when you actually need it anymore.
Okay.
Because it used to be 60 seconds, then it went to 90, and then 110. And that 90 to 110 nerf made it to where it's basically never up when you actually need it. This has a lot of really, really strong components, and one thing is that after a fight with Tryndamere, you always want to try to get out at 1 health, and with Eclipse, you have the Omnivamp to heal back up and go farm somewhere else, but then also the Eclipse Shield gives you an extra layer of safety for going back in.
Okay.
So it gives you so much safety to where you are going to be in a position where you're not going to be likely to die. And one thing with Sheen is that, let's say I'm doing trades right here, where I have Fury, right? This is a typical thing with Tryndamere, is that the Fury for the crits counts at the start of my auto attack animation. So, as soon as the sword starts swinging is when a crit is decided or not. So, I can start the auto attack and then press Q, and that will give me the Sheen proc and the crit, despite having no
shit.
crit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Sheen at level 7 is approximately, like, it's basically nearly 100 AD. And it's really cheap, and the reason why you're not like completing it into any item is that Essence Reaver, which is the item that you would want to go, it scales off of bonus AD, so it's an item that you would want to get a little bit later. Just buying Sheen is really powerful, and then also Dirk is one of the strongest components in the game. So you go Sheen into Dirk, and that's one of the it's the strongest real components that you can get for 1800 gold. It's really cheap, and you just do insane amounts of damage. So I'm going to exit, and then do you have your league client up?
Yeah, let me get you my IGN. I'm on like a barcode account.
Yep.
Here you go. You can invite this account right here. So in the event of you push mid, they started red, right?
Yep.
And then they rotated straight to their blue, or they did Raptors. Like you eat onto them, and while they're on Raptors, you just fight them on that spot.
Oh yeah, if they're doing Raptors, which is another common start, you just fight them on the Raptors. And what you want to be cognizant of is positioning yourself to where, as you're fighting them, the Raptors are hitting them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If I could show you a couple clips of it in a second, which will show you a couple sort of case examples of it in practice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did invite. I guess they are just broken people.
Just add me. Just add me.
Trying to pretend that they're not.
Oh, there you go. Got it. Perfect.
All right, so let me screenshot the rune page that you want to take.
Is it LT Triumph Tenacity last time?
Yep, Tenacity last stand. Second one in flinching. You pretty much always want to go armor because.
Ooh, okay.
Armor.
Oh, you're thinking camps a lot of times.
It works for camps. It works for turrets. It works for minions and mage auto attacks. There's so few situations in which MR would be really important, unless you're in against like a double AP mid jungle, which is not very common.
Yeah.
At least in this level. And
I feel like you still run armor regardless, even if they're double AP, because with your strategy, if you run into camps and you're tanking them, I think you want armor.
Yeah. It's like maybe if they're like super 4 AP, that's a possibility. I'll play Kayn.
Okay. I'll try Tenacity last.
So yeah, what I'm gonna want you to do, I'm gonna just start red and then go golems.
Okay.
I'm going to want you to hit level 2 from the Wraith trick, just so you can get practice on that.
Okay.
But still assume that I am on golems.
Okay.
So just kind of combining them both in the same time, so that we can get practice on both.
Okay. Is there ever a time where you do the Raptors and they're finish the Krugs by the time you get there?
If I generally don't ever do the Raptors if I know that they're on golems.
Okay.
So what I'm telling you to do right now is not actually a good strategy. It's combining the two strategies together.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
we just learn them.
So I'm assuming you pay very close attention to who looks like they leashed from top or bottom, right? Every time you're pushing mid?
Yes.
Okay.
And the only clear that breaks even against this strategy is starting red and then going into their blue side right away.
Okay.
And if they do that, then you win anyway, because that's a really weak clear. So yeah, I'm gonna start red. But yeah, try to just push the wave as soon as possible. Try to get as much CS. Make sure that your first spin hits the entire wave. Auto attack it a couple times, and then go back to the melees, because the melees are just where you're going to be a little bit more safe.
Yeah.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
And when you spin over Raptors, you want to make sure you kill a Raptor that you eat through, right? So it's a bit faster?
Yeah, but for fear of resetting it, I would just try to auto-attack it the entire time.
Okay.
Unless you know that, alright, my spin is definitely going to kill it. But using the spin to kill it is what I do to go into red, so that I can just start red faster. If you are going into golems, you want to have your spin up, as you're fighting me.
Okay.
So I'm going to want you to try to... your goal when you get to golems is to steal one of the small golems that I'm killing.
Even if I got 2 off of Raptors?
Yes, just for practice. Just for practice.
Okay.
See. Good.
I'm here a bit early.
I was just slow on the clear.
And this is what it looks like, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I'm gonna do some really weird panic flash, because I've never actually seen that before. And yeah, you don't need to.
And then I just evac mid and just head mid lane.
Yeah. That's
Back to farming.
You can also. There's also the potential.
Do you do it again? Do you like if you can push mid again somehow? Would you invade bot side?
Oh yeah, 100%. Once.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, once the wave is going to be pushing back into you, and then you can get another slow push into a crash, especially because you have red. You can what's it called? Just as soon as that is done crashing, I'm gonna be on my blue probably right now.
Whether now or no?
So you can just go to my blue. But yeah, take the blast cone over.
Okay. Yeah. My man's double farming. And you had no flash from earlier. And then back to the den we go.
Yep. And that's exactly how you do it. And another thing that you want to be looking at are your options to gank a side lane. If
after that play?
Yep. Or at really kind of any point. There's so many things that you do have as options. And so it's just sort of looking for the potential option.
Is it worth it? Yeah, I was also talking about the wave, sorry.
What's up?
I was also talking about the wave. If the wave is like big stacking towards you, don't you want to get back to mid lane?
Yes. And that's also another thing is that, like, with the way that the waves will kind of happen naturally with this play, is that the wave will typically be stacking towards you most of the time. So if the mid laner is trying to match you, the wave is coming into you, so they're losing a lot. And if you can time you coming back to the wave, you will get all of the farm and they get nothing. So even though you're leaving lane, oftentimes you will just become ahead in your mid lane.
Okay.
Yeah, so like try to... One thing for right now is I'm just gonna CS, try to hit your slow on me while I'm CSing, and then look for an angle. Like, I'm just gonna play this like a normal mid laner. Yeah, that's how you hit your slow.
Good bye.
All right. So there are like more mechanics, but that should be good enough for now for us to go into sharing your screen and
All right.
queue up for a game.
Perfect. Yeah, so we'll be playing around, I think, low master tier will be the MMR of this account, roughly.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yep. Alright, I'll queue it up.
Still.
Mid top.
And while we're in queue, I'm going to be finding you examples of plays.
I'll share my screen. Let me stop watching. Yeah, let me stop watching your screen. And just delete. There you go. And you should see my screen now.
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna send you that. Yo, am I sharing my?
I'm not looking at your screen anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm clicking the video.
So don't necessarily worry too much about like the talking in it, but just the plays themselves. This is an example of, I believe the Pantheon started Wraiths and then went red, which is like a common Kayn strategy.
Okay.
So
shorter race.
Yep, this is what's going on. I did this twice in a row to shorter race too, like 2 games in a row. Just this strat.
You're level 1, unfortunately.
But you hit level 2 when you get a kill.
Oh, base rush. Okay.
Yeah, don't think too much about the runes because you're going to be taking lethal tempo.
Did you just base right after that, or did you go mid?
I don't know exactly what I did on that situation.
Oh.
But yeah, I would look a little bit more into the video to see what the next jungle invade play is.
Okay, so what do you do here? Do you E? Or do you just try to push and then E over Raptor? Okay, so you E'd.
Yeah, because the important thing is to try to just crash the wave as quickly as possible.
And then you have to manually walk to Raptors.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so you're level 1 right now?
Yeah, you can do it level 1.
Okay. And if their mid laner just starts full running to you, or
then you fight
just
them.
juggle?
Then you fight the jungler. Or then you fight the mid laner. Like, yeah, like right now, this is what you do.
Okay.
But yeah, just instead of phase rush, imagine ghost. And that way, since they're so far away from the lane, you can get a free sort of like kill. Or a free, like very, very hard aggression.
Do you have a particular ban?
You can ban Yone, Silas, either one of those. Just commonly played mid lane champions that can be kind of annoying. Okay, good. You do have Tryndamere on this account.
Yeah, mid lane. It wasn't a mid lane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even when Trynd was at his peak of mid lane, he was never in that mid lane category.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is a shorter race again.
Back at it again.
Yeah, he tried to do some adaptation to not get boomed by the strat, and still gets boomed by the strat.
Oh, to be fair, he's ganking a Vladimir, so Vladimir can do.
Yep. That's the thing that'll be more relevant. Like, the higher that you do this is that if your jungler can coordinate with it, then it's really powerful. But typically, you kind of just want your laner to just be, or your jungler to just be farming, because that way you guaranteed get them a lead of like several camps up.
Yeah, I was gonna ask there, why help your jungler when you know he's already gonna get the red buff instead of just catching mid EXP?
Yep.
But I can see the wave's already pushing back to you no matter what, because Vladimir's autoing and queuing it.
Yep. So yeah, let me just make sure your runes are good. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good. Against probably Diana mid lane.
Yeah, probably. They both banned junglers, but more likely going to be Diana. Diana can't really push against you on the first little wave. If she takes Electrocute and Ignite, that's something that you want to be conscious of.
Okay.
Because there are some champions that can push you off level 1. Especially if you don't fight them. Because with champions that you can fight, one strat that you do is you get all of the melee minions low and then spin through, and the kills of the minions get you a ton of surprise fury, which will take you from 30% fury to full fury.
Okay.
So that'll give you a very strong trade opportunity, because they're going to be further up because they don't think that you'd be strong in a trade.
Okay. So in this game, if Diana's in the lane right away, would you still E through everything and try to hit the Diana and auto her, and then back off to the melees? Is that what you try doing here? Or would you just try to hit the melee first? Okay.
So you hit the melees like once or twice and then spin.
Okay.
Yep.
Right. I'm gonna share you my game instead.
Yep.
Okay. She has Phase Rush and Ignite.
Oh yeah, she has no chance of ever doing anything aggressive to you in the lane. So yeah, just make sure you're aware of where they're starting. If you want to, you could just ward the red buff level 1.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a possibility that you can do. And yeah, make sure that you get spin and you're maxing Q.
Can you ward red level 1?
Yep, that works. Yep. And what your team does doesn't really matter too much.
I'll make them ward. Don't want to, but okay. Screw you, ward it. Thank you.
I mean, that's fair. At least they're still doing it. Kind of jealous of your FPS right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It dropped when I'm streaming.
Yeah. Some updates have just made my FPS just tank.
I think League is messed up. I don't think it's your maybe your computer, but League is messed up where FPS is dropping, even on the best computers.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, you want to try to like start hitting the wave before it actually crashes into the other set of minions. Like you want to be really quick, but just don't show into like turret range right now.
A summoner has disconnected.
That's fine.
A summoner
But yeah,
has reconnected.
in this situation, you can hit the melees and then go for the spin. She looks like she's going to be playing really passively, so yeah, just spin. Spin right now.
They're not on red.
Yep, so do the one Wraith trick, hit level 2.
And take red.
Yep. And then
Q,
ward
right?
that brush, ward that brush. Yep. Now hit level 2, and then drag it in. Keep dragging it in. Pretend that she's not going to be there. If she literally walks to you, then you can fight her. Yep. Take this, look at your lane. Yep, it's good. It's pushing into you.
Would you Q immediately right now?
Yep, press Q, press Q. And then you typically want to save your spin for over the wall right here, but
Okay.
you look like you're in a fine spot. And red buff gives you out of combat regen, so you want to try to not take damage, like right
Yeah,
here,
okay.
but you're... It'll be about 1 or 2 waves until you get back to a healthy amount of health.
Yeah.
But as soon as you do that now, then you'll have the red advantage. So yeah, keep this where you're at, and then just spam Q. Spam Q and try to get as much fury as possible where you can. It looks
And you want
like
to fight her, right?
you could start to trade in as soon as
That's
she
great.
goes up. Yeah.
I'm just healing.
Yep. So try to build up fury, and then you can trade with her. Like, ghost on her right now and kill her. Like, right now.
Oh, I didn't have my E.
Yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. The window was when she had used her abilities,
Okay.
but then the window was gone, so my fault.
Has been slain.
Yeah, you were at about even right there. That is one thing that's really... I remember the tweet that you had about like how bad live coaching is, which I pretty much agree with, is that like, for an example like that, the play is true for like a 2-3 second window.
Yeah.
And after that, it's no longer a true play. So, it's like, yeah, you would go up to your top laner. Or, like, see if there's a possibility. Just catching the wave can be fine right here. Looks like she's executing. Does she have TP?
She does. But I'm killing Hammer.
Yep.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, you can spin and then flash if you need to. You don't need flash.
I think I need a flash, maybe.
Yeah, now you need a flash. Alright, you're good. Go straight back mid. Yeah, you can back.
Would you have any like weird boots here?
No, go longsword and dagger.
An ally has been slain.
You always want to try to rush your tier 2 boots first.
Okay, and it's berserkers, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Tier 2 boots, and then Cryo, Ashin, and Dirk. Just
Okay.
whichever you have gold for at the time of getting the daggers or etc.
Oh, we have so much damage, man. I'm playing Vayne. I have to auto it twice. You just one-shot it.
Yep. So I would slow push this wave and then hard push next.
Okay. I think she has control. I don't think I control it.
You're not level 6, but she can't kill you right now. Yeah, get your pots up, and in situations like this, you want to try to auto attack as much as possible, even if it's not to CS, because it gives you Fury, which gives you
Okay.
sustain.
Slain. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Diana could be going your bot lane, ping it back. Ping it
Yeah,
back.
she's bot.
Yeah, hard push this.
Do you steal Raptors or something?
You could steal wolves right now.
Enemy wolves?
I would back right now because your team is just backing right now so that you can be on the map at the same time as them. Yeah, because your tier 2 boots are a very strong spike.
Okay.
And their red is going to be up again soon. So now you are as strong as you can be to get that again.
Okay.
Look at who's here. Yeah, no. Nothing gonna be going on there. Oh, yeah, so with your ults, you don't want to level it at level 11.
Okay.
You want to max your spin first, and then start maxing your ults. So you're going to be putting a point into ult at about level 11, or 13, rather. Look at
Okay.
the fight spot. Yeah, you're good. So try to push this wave. You have ult, so she can't, like, kill you right now. She does have berserkers, but if you just focus on the wave, she doesn't have a ton of damage. Make sure to use your pot right now. And keep on hitting the wave. You can be hitting the wave while you're kiting it back into the turret.
Okay.
Yep, keep on pushing the wave.
Oh, you went roam?
Look at the fight.
I'm coming for that ass.
Good.
Get your ass back here, boy. Alright, back to the lane.
Alright,
Do it.
go back to the
What do
lane.
you help us?
Push the wave, push the wave, push the wave. They can do drag on their own. Push the wave and then try to take red. You should be able to... does Graves have tabbies?
No, he has no boots.
Okay.
He might buy it, I don't know.
You should be able to kill Graves if he goes straight red. Ignore everything that's going on bot lane right now.
Nah, hell nah, I'm out of there, boy.
He's fine, he's fine. It's just an Ashe. It's a level 4 Ashe. They're not going to do anything.
You at, boy? Where you?
Yep, and then drag it back in. Drag it back in. And then you could look for a play... no. Top lane plays. Unlikely. Yep, now go for the kill. Make sure you hit your slow. Alright, you're fine, you're fine. Walk up, or to the right. Because you don't know where Diana is. Just be careful of her.
No! I panicked.
Yeah, I would have gone for the Graves right there.
Okay.
You could still go for the Graves. Like with your red buff healing. Okay, yeah, I would just take the back.
Yeah, I'm just in base, yeah.
It's probably better to just get your Dirk and a longsword. Dirk and longswords right now. Yep, and there you go. Good. Another thing is that your W is a wall hack.
Oh, yeah, you can look at it, yeah.
Yep. So if anybody's ever in range, you can see that. And there are a couple things that we'll go over in the review that can't really go over right now. Look at the bot. How much gold do they have? Are they going to be backing soon?
They should be.
Okay.
Yeah, they should be basing after that. I think they're suiciding. Would you take the plate?
Yeah, you can look for this plate. She does not have kill prio on you at all. So walk up after the plate, and then spin over a wall. Yeah, you're still fine. You're still fine. You're still fine.
Oh, you have time to help my boy. I'm gonna steal the gold. Oh, I'll just take this instead.
Yep. And yeah, push the wave. Graves is on the bot side, but wouldn't be an issue for you. Look at top right now.
I was just pushing in 24/7.
You can get a pink ward wherever you think it would be good.
My pick is right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Don't spend gold on pinks that you don't need to.
Oh, he has no ult.
Yeah, if you can get Fury and a slow, when she has phase rush, or when her phase rush is down, that gives you a window to get a slow and then get a kill. You're at the point to where you're strong enough to where you can beat her with your ults, assuming you get the damage fully off. So yeah, I would look for Fury right now, and click on her. Is her phase rush up? Yep. All right. So now try to get your Fury up right now.
Graves is here though. He's mad.
Yeah, if you see Graves somewhere else and you can get Fury, like kill her right now. Kill her right now. Yeah, you can maybe go aggro. Okay. Flush.
Oh.
That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, that's a. If you had kept your Q up instead of using it before, then you would have been able to survive that Ashe arrow. But yeah, I would sell the ward, get a Sheen, and then get the Vamp Scepter, and then sell your pot for another dagger. No, another longsword, rather.
Oh.
Yep. Good. Typically in a situation, when is drag? Yeah,
53.
typically in a situation like this, you want to like rotate to a side lane after one of the turrets is down, and then start split pushing then.
I don't think there's anything. I'm just gonna grab
Yeah, that's not true right now. So you just want to farm as many camps as you can until dragon is up, and then start to do dragon. Look at what your bot lane is doing.
They're diving in there. They pulled Graves up there too. Yep. I think I'm gonna dive timer in 50 seconds with ult.
Yeah, I would try to push the mid wave and then head towards drag.
Oh, I was bot. Alright, free push top.
Yep.
Their blue's up.
They're probably... Yeah, your team is all low. You could look to get an aggressive play on them while they're taking that. Because taking the dragon could be a little bit unsafe. As long... Yeah, Diana is not there. You just go in. Don't do that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Long enough. I would take the Grump.
Oh, something.
Yeah, you're good. I would go for the dragon right now, because Graves is going to be up soon. So you don't have enough time to go super
I'm lane.
Yeah, you can just wait until your bot lane is there.
Our bot lane's rotating mid first. I think I have time to push bot. They can't do dragon.
Yep.
I shouldn't get ganked here. They can if they want.
With the 2 people that could be coming through, you should still be safe.
Yeah. Oh, they actually did it. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Was the problem of overstaying. You have your big spike, but since you're already on the map, you want to stay on the map with your team. Alright, yep.
The stomp. Nice.
And you can go get the Grump after you push this wave, if Udyr isn't going for it. Alright, no, steer back.
Base on top. What'd you grab here?
Eclipse. Eclipse and then a crit cloak.
Eclipse, stop.
Eclipse, crit cloak, and a dagger.
Dagger, okay.
Yep. You're building into Storm Razor next. It sounds like a weird garbage bin build, but everything makes sense in context. Like, all of these items that you're building are very burst-oriented, and you need attack speed and crit on this item, which is why Storm Razor is good. I was explaining it to Max Waldo, and it all makes sense. Yep.
I'm coming.
Go for this. Try not to reveal yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just done.
I should have played with Udyr. I should have waited for him.
Yeah, and when he started walking around, you shouldn't have walked the same path as him. You should have went back to block him off.
Alright, AFF.
Alright, sounds good. Yep, there is a lot to go over right there, which is good.
Sounds good.
A lot of things of both just Trynd gameplay and just general gameplay.
Okay.
That can improve pretty much. Exactly how that.
You can pull up the VOD from the match history. Should be fine.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I need to see your camera work, so I can just go the stream.
Wait, weren't you streaming it?
Yeah, I was streaming.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm gonna pull it up from the stream.
Okay. Yo, I did less damage than Nami.
That is a typical thing, is that you could legit be 10-0 on Tryndamere, and because your damage is always going to be the most useful, you will very often just not have very high damage at all.
Okay.
Like, you could be the hard carry and then still be 4th highest damage.
Yeah. Let me pop it out. Oh. There you go. Perfect. I'm what?
Getting at the pod. Realize this is a very ghetto view. Because usually I do most of my coachings off stream, so I'll just start recording.
Oh, next time you should hide names so that you can get the full screen instead of just a half the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't bothering me in the moment, so I didn't.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. So we'll start right here at the beginning. Pretty much all of this is good. Right here, you see that it doesn't matter what the champion can do. It matters what the enemy thinks the champion can do. So even if Diana is a champion who could push you off level 1, like she has her auto attacks and she could be much more aggressive, you see that she's clicking back, so you see that she's really afraid of you right now.
Okay.
So it's more about the intention of what the enemy is doing rather than what they are actually getting done. Like there's just a couple little inefficiencies here and there. Nothing like too extreme. I never thought about the idea of doing this, of just trying to spin over the wall right here. It's not terrible. Like it's not too big of a inefficiency.
Oh, I thought you told me to do that. Oh, what?
Yeah.
You wanted me to walk around and start the raptors?
Yeah. So you walk around, ward this, and then pull it over here so that your spin can hit both the last hit on the creep and then right here.
Oh, I just wanted to kill the raptor fast, and I thought you wanted me to eat. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. You got very bailed out because you got crits, so that you didn't take a lot of damage from the raptors at all.
Okay.
Which is fine. But yeah, so right there, you're level 2, and you are... So Tryndamere does more damage when he's low, right? So it's like a Warwick kind of situation, especially in these kind of early fights, to where she's level 1, you're half health, but you're not really half health. Because you have not only a ton of regen, and these fights aren't going to be instantaneous, but you do so much more damage than they expect. So even if Diana was going to come right there, you could still fight her. So it's really important to not be afraid of thinking, oh shit, like the mid laner is coming, I gotta leave. And then if you leave in this situation where you lose so much health to the jungle camps, then you will be in a losing spot in lane.
Okay.
If you just leave for free without any cost from them because you're getting psyched out. So yeah, you want to... It's very possible for Diana to be fighting you in the top river, so you want to save your spin to go over the wall.
Okay. Right now she'd be jumping on me, right? In theory.
Yep. Hypothetically, she could be doing that.
Okay.
And the thing you want to do right here is to just try to not take damage, so that your red buff regen is more than Doran's shield plus second wind. But you get regen of both being in combat or out of combat, so it's not the most extreme thing. Yeah. So there are a lot of windows right here where you have been able to kill her, even though she does have
really
ignite. Yeah, because especially if she doesn't hit a Q.
Yeah, she hit all 3.
Yeah. She hit all 3.
Oh yeah, red buff. Oh yeah, that's you do a lot of damage. Okay, yeah.
Yep, you have red buff and you're low. One thing you would want to do for matchups like Diana is her shield is a big trading tool. So you want to just walk up and auto attack her to where she casts the ability, but not commit to the trade enough to where she's full in. Does that make any sense? Because like
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want her to get the full value of your shield, so you want to let her pop it. There's a dog outside. My dog is outside barking very loud. I'll be back in a second. I gotta get him in.
Sounds good.
Alright, sorry about that. So, as a general rule, you always want to be... You want to be thinking of, in every matchup, what are the conditions for me to make X play? Of... as an example of, like, the Lux matchup. If you can force her binding to where it doesn't hit you, that is an incredibly large window to where she has nothing she can do against you. So your goal as the Trynd and the Lux matchup is to try to get her to pop her binding so that you can get a completely free trade in. Or you want to get yourself into a situation where the binding doesn't do anything. So Diana, her main trading tool is her W. That's what's in a situation like this. That is where she's going to be very strong. Is when she has her W up. So you want to try to bait her into a situation where she uses it and it doesn't give her any value, because then that gives you a 5 or so second window to be able to force an engagement where she doesn't have her main trading tool and she'll lose every trade. So yeah, the situation in which I told you to go in right here is the problem of live coaching, is that like there was this situation that was possible to go in, and then by the time that it registers, because like me telling you a statement of like the window existing, it's gonna take you like 2-3 seconds to register it and then to apply it.
And by then the opportunity's gone, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, like, if the all-in doesn't work right there, and like, let's say you live, you still have enough regen to stay in the lane and just try to avoid poke as much as possible, get CS where possible, and within about 2 waves, you'll be back to a very similar level of health from her. So you want to be playing for as much sustain as you have. To be trying to play a little bit of a warrior of attrition. So like right... let's say...
There? You'd all in?
So yeah, where I would say you would try to go for the all-in is like this spin before that spin, because this spin didn't hit her. It did hit her.
I was trying to dodge her Q, but yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah. Like, if you had E up right here, this would be a really good situation. So, like, before that E was the time in which an all-in was possible. And then it wasn't... You could have still gotten a couple autos in on her, but not a full trade. Because she did just use her W. So... let's say you still just do make all of the mistakes that you have so far.
2 autos here and then...
Oh my god. What time are we at? Yeah, you go for 2 autos, and then you just back off. And then she has no mana.
And then we just get infinite HP.
Yep, you get infinite HP back. Alright, yeah, right there, and then... You just go back and then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to play slow. I was like, wait, what? We're vomiting? So I just went for it. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is something that's kind of talked about a lot, is like, oh, just go for the opportunity when it's there. But when you are learning, you want to learn at least like the base floor before you try to limit test. So like the style in which you were thinking about that is the better way when you're trying to learn the champion, but you still want to know that the opportunities are possible.
Yeah, that's what makes a great player, if you're able to spot those tiny opportunities to go all in there. Because I could just sit there and just queue for another rotation, right, 1 or 2, and then I win the lane. I just slow push back and she's forced to yeah.
But then the question with that is that like it becomes more and more obvious that, hey, Tryndamere can get a fight. So that makes it to where, like, the rest of the team is going to want to, like, gang up on you. So, what makes the great player is when you get those plays where it's right on like the needle's edge, so that they don't actually expect anything from you. I think it was right here. I can't see the minimap, so it's really annoying. You in a lot of wave states like this, I can't see the minimap, so I can't say it specifically, but you would want to just slowly push in this first wave and then hard push in next, so that you have a bigger crash and more time to go to the next wave.
I feel like she's long gone, so you can just hard shove here and then move anyways and place vision.
Yeah,
Because I don't see any plays happening on the map in this specific moment right now.
Yeah. And then there was this.
But I do agree with your general idea though, the 2-wave crash, so that you have a bigger push.
Yeah, there was another situation in which this is true, and because I can't say the minimap, I can't say that for certain. Yeah, I don't like doing on-stream coachings generally, just because it's not amazing content if it's not something that you're like hard forcing.
Yeah.
Typically for most streamers, content isn't super high value because like I don't want to interact with chat or anything at all right now, as an example. But yeah, so one thing that you can do that there was an opportunity to do right here. You didn't explicitly need to do it because you could have gotten the kill without using flash.
Yeah.
If the spin was utilized properly, but this is something that'll happen really commonly if you're trying to do kills in lane or even outside of lane, is E flash. So like, you know how Gragas can body slam and then flash in the body slam?
I was trying to get away with not using flash, that's why I didn't do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But in a situation,
I eat too far left. That's my issue, which allowed him an angle to flash away. If I eat to the right a lot more, even straight to the alcove, I think he had nowhere to go.
Oh yeah. So what you want to do is always try to sort of put yourself in a situation that's between you and where the enemy wants to go. We'll talk about that later with the Jhin play, where you kind of walked around and gave him the window to get out.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get to that when it's there. This is one thing I noticed with it. I don't know with your play if it's just because you're learning a new champion or if this is something in general, is that there were times to where you were walking over to a play purely just from minimap information. Whereas, like, you need to get the information of actually looking at the screen of, like, how low are people, like, what is the actual, like, pure information of the fight before you actually decide to make a rotation or not.
That's a me thing. I actually don't look at what's going on. I actually just see something on the minimap and I start moving. That's what I do. Yeah, because like the minimap is a really overrated concept in League. It should be the tool that gives you more information to get more information. Okay.
So the minimap is a tool to tell you, hey, I should be looking over here, not all right, there's something going on here, now I go. Because the minimap, you can tell how low your team is from the information on top of the minimap, but you don't know how low the enemy is. And if the enemy is really low walking to you, then that's one thing versus them being full health and walking to you. So that is a really hard skill to sort of learn. But that's something that will give you so much more benefit just as a player in general, is looking at fights before.
Yeah.
Like, with my, I think it was my first Max Waldo coaching session where I was getting more used to using the F keys. And it's something that took me a really long time to use the F keys properly. But like now it's just sort of second nature. It's for you in your position to get to the point to where you can use your F keys or just look at the minimap before you go. It's about as hard as the locked camera player going to unlocked. In the sense that it's not really that hard, but it does take some time to get used to.
Of course.
Yeah, just like it takes time to get used to going on locked. Yeah, even in situations like this, Tryndamere is a champion that can trade up a lot. So maybe not in that specific situation, but situations like that where If you had higher fury right here,
you just get through the wave.
Yeah, like if you had full fury right here, this is a trade where you just win. If you didn't Q before, this is a fight that you do get the kill on because she doesn't have phase rush to get out. Yeah, her phase rush is down, and you have an extra 5 seconds of your ult that after you go to 0 health, you have an extra 5 seconds of combat damage.
Yeah, that's something I think about. Yeah.
Yep, because your lethal tempo will be fully procced by then too, and you deal the most damage when you're at 0 health. So right now your auto attack does 66. When your health goes to 0 on this all in, your base auto attacks will be doing like 90, 100. And that's not even counting the crits. And the fact that you're getting more crits because you have lethal tempo.
Okay.
So Tryndamere is a champion that can do this a lot more than other champions. Is you can look for opportunities to get plays on people who are higher level than you, have a better wave state, because none of these minions actually matter to you. They make the enemy feel more safe, but you are infinitely tanky when you have your ult. So if they're in a situation where they think, oh, hey, I can stay here because I have minions and Tryndamere is lower level than me, that's going to be situations where they're going to be able to play more up, or think that they can play more up. And it's more of a question of the absolute state of where they are in the lane. Whereas, like, for Vayne right here, you'd be taking way too much damage from minions to even consider this play. But for you, aspects like minion damage are irrelevant. In another situation, if there was a jungler that was coming, let's say this fight was a little bit more favored to you compared to where it is right now.
Okay.
Let's say that she has 70 health right now. If they have a jungler that's coming who is a no CC jungler, this is still a fight that you can go for. Because the jungler doesn't actually do anything in the fight to prevent you from getting this kill. And you'll be popping Ghost right here. You'll have Ghost to go in afterwards. And then you'll have your Q plus Triumph. So if she was right here and there was a jungler coming, that gives you a situation to go into a fight. Even though it looks like, hey, the jungler came, I can't fight now.
Yeah.
Rules like that are not true for Tryndamere. Tryndamere can go into a 1v4 depending on what the situation is and still get out alive after getting kills. Yeah, like this is an example of a fight to where, like, I didn't tell you to go for this fight because there was no information. Like, this could have been a fight that would have been really int or really good to go into, and you don't know any of that information. So you're just RNG coin flipping. Which, as Tryndamere, you already have some RNG coin flips, so you don't want to add more to that stack.
Okay.
Because like, going for the wave push is always going to give you guaranteed value. No matter what happens, you're getting value out of that, of like a base level. And then, right there, since the jungler was fighting, you can look to see if you can take Wraith Camp or something. Or get a recall so that you're going to be on the map earlier. There are so many aspects of guaranteed value that you can get, whereas going for that play only might give value.
Yeah, I always teach my students this, is you always go for the wave first. Once the wave has been stacked up and crashed, then you go for the 50-50, right?
Yep.
The jungle camps, or you can go for the base, which is 100% too, but yeah.
Yep, and there are situations in which things like that are not true, but you want to learn what the base default is. Of, like, this is what you do in most situations. Yeah, you were playing a little bit more to... Yeah, this is just kind of like a little bit of basic positioning, as you were just playing a little bit too far from where he was intending to go.
Okay.
So... You always want to try to stay on top of him as much as possible in situations like this. In situations like this, where he has many opportunities of pathways to go, he could go up here, he could go up here, he could go over here, he could go back to his mid or top. He has a lot of options, so you want to just be on top of him, because you blocking off one option by walking on this side of him
Yeah, I thought he was gonna go back to Raptors. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you want to be thinking about what is the option of different things that they can do. Because if you're right here, you're not actually blocking off any option. You're just telling him, all right, go for this other option. Because if you were staying on top of him, then you could have hit the blast cone earlier so that he didn't have the choice to make. Because it's really hard to play that little blast cone game. So you want to try to remove as much choice as possible. This is a situation in which it would have been much better to go for the Graves. Graves is like a lot squishier.
Yeah.
The thing, if you were trying to go into this fight, Heimerdinger has his stun. And that's the one thing that can sort of stop you from doing that. But if you dodge the stun, then there's nothing that they can do. So we'll go over what actually happened. But in a situation in which you're trying to go for Graves, you want to kind of wait until, see if he's going to walk in here, see if he's not going to walk in here, see what he's doing, and then if he is doing what he's doing right now, you want to just walk up, try to get the slow on him, and then just walk up and auto attack. And then hold your spin to use that to advance position, but then also dodge the CC.
So you wouldn't have to eat over the wall. You would have walked all the way around the wall and walked up to the Graves and then see what happens from there. Okay.
Yeah, you always, in an ideal situation as the default, you want to be saving your spin for as long as possible. Especially when you're in a situation to where you beat that Graves so hard, you don't need perfect optimal DPS to kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, that Poppy ult is just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a situation like this, you can just clear the wave.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about the Ana damage. I got ignited, I was like, oh, panic. Click ult.
Yep. That's a really common thing, is with Tryndamere, you kind of have to learn the damages of every champion at every point in the game. Because if you use an ult like a second too early, it's completely useless in a lot of situations. Or if you use it a second too late, then you're just dead.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of situations in which people will stop focusing you when you get to like 300 HP. Because they think, okay, Tryndamere's going to pop ult right now. And then if you don't pop ult, then you get an extra 2-3 seconds of ult, which is enough to just solo win a game. I really have to pee. I will be back in 1 second.
Sounds good. He says, entertain us. Alright, guys. Play Vayne. Play Vayne top. Giga Chad. No. Play Yumi with your feet. It was pretty fun so far, though. That was actually having to actually do the strategy was actually pretty cool of pushing mid, invading. Different perspective, very nice. Play lane Viego. Lane Viego's garbage. Trin feet Yumi bot lane when. True. Way too based. I'll remember that Vayne guy.
All right, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
So there were quite a few other things. Yeah. So right here, the AD carry had just died, and the support was right here. You're not really in any danger of getting killed by the mid jungle in the situation that I'm about to describe. Is that like you can go into the jungle as an escape path in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So like for other champions that don't have terrain scaling, this would be a really weird thing to do, going around this way. But what you could do is position right here to get the camp, or like ring around the Rosie her with the turret is a good situation, and then you can just spin from right here to right here, and that gives you just so much safety. Because right there you're also playing towards the wave, which is giving like she was just able to ult the wave right there. Whereas if you were on the other side, she can't clear and harass you at the same time.
I thought you wanted me to E over the Raptor wall. But you wanted me to just take the plating real quick and then E over to the wolves. Yeah.
Yeah, because the Graves jungle camps were up on that side. So that was a potential of either fighting him right there, which you are strong enough to where you don't need your ult to do so, and their bot lane can't come.
Yeah.
So you could have had time to fight him or take his camps.
Okay.
So go over there. And yeah, like your Udira was also taking Rift Herald already, which was information that we didn't have because we didn't look over there, I don't believe. But that is something that if you look at the screen, then you can say, all right, is the Rift high enough health to where I should go help him? Or is the Rift enough to where he's just about to take it? Because that could change your decision. That could be a piece of information that tells you, do you want to spin to the Raptor, or do you want to spin to this side?
Okay,
yeah. So that's a big thing about just League in general, is that the more information that you can take in, the more information that you have to work off of. And like without information, the less information that you're taking in, the more you're just going in blind. This is just why lock screen is just the worst thing you could possibly do.
As I'm lock screen right now.
Do you lock screen?
Yeah, I play mainly lock screen, but I do unlock in certain situations.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you play Vayne top, so having information isn't really super important. Yeah, there are some playstyles and things that can get around it, but you're still always going to do better with more information.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the way to explain it is that certain champions just need to make less decisions. That they're more honest in a sense, that you know exactly how a Vayne top is going to play the game, more or less, compared to. I'll give a jungle example. Is Graves and Kindred are champions that have very low resource terrain scaling. So because they have terrain scaling, they have so many more decisions that they can make relative to an Udyr. Because an Udyr is gated by walls. He can never go over a wall. So his game is a lot more simple compared to a Graves. Like, did you watch Worlds at all?
Yeah, I watch Worlds.
Yeah, the Canyon Graves or the Canyon Kane game, where he started the wolves on the side that the enemy was starting already. Like, that's the kind of pushing it to the max of the information or the ability that you have from having a champion that can make more decisions. And Tryndamere being a resourceless champion who can fight his way out of almost every situation, who has really easy terrain scaling and can take camps really easily. There's so many choices that you do have. So it's much more important for Tryndamere, especially mid Tryndamere, to have more information so that you can make a more optimal decision more often than not.
Yeah.
Because, like, honest champions have a... we'll go over that a little bit more later. But yeah, right here, if you're thinking, hey, I want to go for a play right now, then yeah, don't press Q. Like, you press Q after she went in.
Yeah. So not to ramp myself up now, instead of being already ramped up.
It's not just that, but now your Q was down after your ult was down. Or after your ult went off its usage.
Yeah, so I put the concept of the faster you use something, the faster it comes up type of idea, but I don't think that applies here for Tryndamere Q.
Oh yeah, that's something you always want to... There's kind of a rule of what is the cooldown on your Q right now?
11-ish? 12.
Yep, 12. So you always want to think, am I going to ult in the next 7 seconds? Every time you press Q. Because that is a 7-second window every time you Q, where you almost always you want to try to avoid ulting in that 7-second window. You want to use your ult when this is at 5 seconds or less. Because you really, really need to have your Q up after a certain point. Like, with Triumph plus Q, you can survive a turret shot after your ult a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Or especially if you get a level up. Like, there's a lot that you can do right there, and when you have lethal tempo, it gets you in a situation to where you don't have ults, but with your Q and your Triumph, it'll give you enough health to still take the next fight with the other person that you're with. So, like, if you still had Q up right here, after you killed Diana, there's a situation, there's a possible situation in which your Q plus Triumph, your Triumph didn't hit because it didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
If your Q plus Triumph, it could have gotten you in a situation to where you could have gone back in on the Ashe.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. Plus D-Shield plus second one that I'm still taking, yeah.
Because she is support, so, like, she does no damage right now. So it could have been very free. And it's not just for that specific situation right there, it's just something to think about in general.
Oh, no, I 100% agree, 100%.
Yep. So, right now, after you get Vamp Scepter, you have so much more sustain that... like, if you are really, really low right here, this one camp will bring you from 20 health to 80 health as a percentage. So that's something you always kind of want to look at is, do I need to back or can I take a jungle camp? Because you can heal off of a lot of jungle camps. Like, Wraiths do a little bit too much damage and they're too AoE, so you'll take a little bit of damage, but once you get this, Doran Shield also procs off of jungle camps. So you can gain health from taking a lot of them. That's not a common thing for people that take Doran Shield and take jungle camps, so that's not a super well-known interaction.
Okay.
But yeah, right here, you didn't want to hit this Blast Cone. One, because you already have the information, or it hypothetically is there. But then two, it announces that you are coming into the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, depending on the situation, maybe you just want to walk around right here and sit in this brush. And then, as soon as they're pathing up, then you start to fight them. It just gives you less options when you do announce yourself, because they are very, very well prepared for it. Yeah, right now what I was saying is like why you would want to take this is that this is resetting, so it's going to take forever for you to even start the camp. Your
Yeah.
spin is back up. You can just spin over the wall and start taking this camp.
Okay.
And like how a Nidalee will press Q plus smite to secure a camp, what you want to do to secure camps when you know there's somebody over the wall, because this is a really common thing to happen, you want to auto and then spin right after the auto. And that'll give you a big burst to take the camps.
Okay.
And then especially if that auto is a Sheen auto and a crit, like you will secure pretty much every neutral camp.
Okay. Side question. When you don't auto for a while, your Fury starts dropping, right? If you auto a ward, blast plan or something, does your Fury hold now? When you auto those things?
So your Fury, yes. So your Fury holds on any auto attack, on any spin. It does not hold on your W. It'll hold on you hitting a blast cone or a blast plant, or taking a honey fruit. A honey fruit gives you Fury, because eating fruit makes you angry.
How about taking damage?
Taking damage does not. You have to do something aggressively to do that.
Okay.
So what else was there? Yeah, it's just kind of like so much of this is just based on the idea of just not having information. Right here, what you would want to do is that there's two ways that you can sort of play this. Is one, just hard force on the Diana. Because of how much DPS you have, it'll make champions that look kind of tanky and feel kind of tanky become just not tanky. So sometimes in teamfights, you want to be going on the carry right here who's really low.
Yeah.
But then other times, you just want to be peeling for your AD carry. It depends on the situation where you're at. What, like if you have a fed AD carry, aggroing on the person that is trying to kill your AD carry will sometimes just be the best option.
100%.
Especially if their carry isn't super ahead. It's just a question of looking at win cons. But then also, like we were saying earlier, you can proc lethal tempo on her and then spin over to the carry with full lethal tempo.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that. I just thought about the Graves. That's it in that situation.
Yep. So yeah, like there are situations in which you want to go just straight for Graves right there. In a hypothetical team fight where your Samira doesn't just one-shot all of them. So yeah, this is also one thing I can't, because I can't see the minimap. There were a couple situations where this is a thing, is that you always want to try to back with your team. As in, like, if your team is on the map, you want to be on the map. Because you'll either drag people to you, which will keep your team more safe, or everybody goes to fight your team, and then you're getting guaranteed value. Whereas if you... This is really important as a split pusher, is that if you're on the map when your team isn't, then you are in a really easy situation to get 5-man, and your team doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
So, like, you want to try to recall when your team recalls, so that you're matching their timers, which is something that's just really important for split pushing champions. So, like, right here is an example. You want to be fishing for the slow, but right here, one is that he's like to the side of you, so that's. I
thought that would land. I'll be honest. He was facing away from me. That's why.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. But like right here.
Yeah.
Now you want to just wrap back around.
Okay.
Because at this point you're just giving him the layer back into his.
I just wait for the Udyr and just make sure that he can't like run straight to safety.
So you want to block his. If you walked over here and blocked his path, he used Ghost, but still. If you were walking over here to block his path, then he would have to walk over here because he can't walk into you.
Yeah.
Right there. Spin also gives Fury, for what it's worth. So spinning on some kind of thing for damage will maintain your Fury. So yeah, and then when you're in a split situation, you want to be thinking about, can I fight a 2v1? Can I not fight a 2v1? Because there are a lot of situations in which you can. Your typical goal is to try to create some kind of imbalanced situation on the map where you are either dragging two people to you, or you're either dragging two people to you and then giving your team an advantage there, or you're dragging somebody to you, one or two people, and then you're getting the flank so that you're getting an advantageous number situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Tryndamere is a champion that like can hypothetically get peeled, less so because you're taking double tenacity. But in those flank situations, oftentimes the carries are going to be the first thing that you interact with, because they're going to be in the backline relative to the battle stance that's happening in the main core team fight. So getting those flanks is getting you in a really powerful position, and even if you're not going for the flank, it threatens the enemy to where they think that you're going to go for a flank, so they have to be really afraid of that. So that's always why, if you're not in a situation where you want to like fully just take the turret right now or hit the turret, or gain value there's a lot of value in just staying in the enemy jungler, so that if they're hard committing 5 there to the main team fight, then you can if they're hard committing to the main team fight, then you can get a guaranteed uncontested split push.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're right here. You're sitting in this jungle. They send their.
Can you play with share screen?
Oh yeah. Share my screen. Kind of important.
Alright.
So yeah, let's say there's kind of like a Baron dance going on right now. You're pushing over here. They send their top laner over to you. They send their top laner over to you.
Yep.
Now you can go for the little flank, and then as soon as they use TP, you just back off and you go back over here.
And then repeat the process, yep.
Repeat the process. Now all of a sudden, they have to make a choice, and there is no good choice for them.
Yep.
So you just kind of want to suffocate them that way. And then if they're pushing up here, you always have the ability to get that flank. You can also get jungle camp. You always want to be eating jungle camps as much as you can. Assuming that it's not conflicting with anything else that's going on, like you wanting to get on the same backtimers as your team. Or something like that. Like, in a lot of situations, you can be split pushing top, their red will be spawning, and then you just walk over to their red. Because if you're a champion who's really safe in a lot of situations, to where even if people are trying to send 3 to you, you are more likely to get out than any other champion in the game, which allows you to go up so much more, because you have more to work with. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Makes complete.
Yes. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything that I'm forgetting. Is there anything that you have questions about at all?
Overall, what would you say? Like, was that Tryndamere gameplay okay? Was it not bad? Did they try to out of 10? How much did they replicate you? Pretty much.
Oh, so on a mechanical level, you were a lot better than other first timing Tryndamere people, basically. There weren't any clear mistakes. The things that I taught you, you kind of got right away, which is very good. The aggression on the quick decision making is not there, just because you're not aware of the limitations of the champion.
Yeah.
Did have more, even just 10 games would be enough for you to get most of the limitations of what you can do. Out of 10, I would say, so out of 10 being what a pro player who I would be teaching Tryndamere teaching this style of Tryndamere to. Out of like what a really, really good person that I was teaching. Like the best first time Tryndamere that I could see. I would say you were about like a solid like 7. Which is like pretty good. There are just the basic issues that you have of your information gathering.
Yeah.
Which like just as a player in general is probably the biggest thing that I could see in his improvement. And with that information gathering, that is what would be able to push you to that 10 of like just if you have the better information, then you can get yourself into more situations where you can utilize it and not be walking to a fight that doesn't actually net you anything. And those kind of little leads give you so much value. Or like you commit to going to the fight because you see something in the fight that wasn't on the minimap that tells you, hey, I should be diving top right now. Like there's so many situations in which if you play Vayne, do you ever really play bot Vayne at all?
No, not really. It's terrible there.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Like, there's so many situations in which you can see a wave crashing, and then you just want to go hard dive a side lane. Tryndamere is one of the easiest champions at doing that. You're one of the best champions at invading. You're one of the best champions at doing so many different things that there's so many options that you have as Tryndamere that no other champion really has. So, there's so much to potentially do that it takes a long time to really kind of gain one skill of learning, hey, like this is how easy a dive is. And then adding that to your repertoire of, hey, I can start looking for dives now. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and aside from information gathering, if I were to continue playing Tryndamere, what would you say is my one biggest thing I should focus on, aside from information gathering?
Yeah, aside from information gathering is looking for situations in which you can get fights when it looks like you're kind of in a disadvantageous position. So
limit testing. Pretty much.
Yeah, limit testing, but like there's so many situations in which, like, think about how you play against Warwick top. I don't know how Vayne versus Warwick does. Into any melee top laner, it's the most annoying matchup ever because he'll be 0.1% health and like still find some way to kill you from full. Tryndamere Tryndamere is very similar to that, and that you can get so many plays in situations where it looks like you don't really have anything. So there's that of just try to take more fights. And then also, one thing that there wasn't really a lot of situations in which you could demonstrate that right now. But right after a team fight, be prepared, or right after any kind of engagement, be instantly prepared to find the next thing that you want to do. I want to instantly go to this lane. I want to instantly take this jungle camp. Because you have so much opportunity to make use of those seconds, that those seconds are more important for Tryndamere compared to other champions. After the fight, you can very often, like, you're the one who's starting the engagement. Your ult goes out. You walk back. There's a dragon fight that's happening, right? There's a dragon fight that's happening. You start the fight, you pop your ults, and then you just walk mid and then take 2 turrets. While the rest of the fight is finishing up. Like, those are...
Shouldn't you just help your team? Unless you're 1 HP, then obviously, yeah, you can go mid.
Yeah, so you just used your ults. Like, there's situations in which you can go back in, but some way you can't. So, it's... Or, like, if your team is going to slowly win already because you've provided so much value, then you can just ultra utilize that time by just taking turrets. And that's also a guaranteed thing that can happen, whereas, especially if you have a shutdown, most important thing in this game is not giving up shutdowns right now. Like, the comeback mechanics in League are so big that if you die when you have a shutdown, like, you one shutdown on somebody who's really fed is the equivalent of 3-4 kills in terms of the amount of XP, the amount of gold that's being given. Like, it's really, really bad to die. So, if you're in situations where you're in a team fight, like, just take the guaranteed play that is going to be a little bit safer, and that is what you would do. Is there anything else?
No, I think that's everything. I really enjoyed this coaching session a lot.
Yeah, sounds good. Have a...
Yeah, that should be good. Have a good day, Mr. Yasukeh.
Hey, likewise. I would normally send you the recording of this, but I know that you have everything recorded on your end, so we're good.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Have a good day, man.